everybody, it's Emily from Life Sew Savory, and I'm a little bit late today, but here I am, and we're going to make a fun project, one that has been requested, I feel like requested many times, and I'm going to be showing you how to make leggings with a skirt attached in an adult size, and usually I always sew this in a kid size. So I'm excited about that today. I hope you will join with me. I hope you're still around because I know that I'm a little bit later than normal, but I had a neighbor stop by and she just had some things that she needed to say, and it just felt like I just needed to hang with her for a little bit. So anyway, I'm here, I'm gonna sew, and I'm wearing the sweater. Didn't I sew this live last week? I have already worn this like 3 times. I love it so much. So anyway, let me just do a couple of my quick shares here and then we're gonna get started. So I have sewn leggings with the skirt attached for girls many times, and you know, it's a project that I make often. But multiple people have said, oh, show how to do it in a women's size. And I mean, technically you just have to take the women's free legging pattern and a circle skirt and combine them like I do with the kids, but I haven't actually ever demonstrated that or given sort of tips on how to do that. So that's what we're gonna do today. And hopefully it inspires you to make yourself some cute skirts for summer. Let's see if this shares. Last week, this program, okay, it says it is. Last week, this program that I'm using, it wasn't working. So anyway, I'm excited you guys are all here, and we are going to get started. Okay, so I'm in the middle of course, 10 other things. Next week, I'm filming It's So Easy on Monday and Tuesday, so I'll be in Cleveland doing that. And then I will be flying to my parents' house where my kids are this week. I'm kidless, and meeting up with my kids and starting to do some family things for a few weeks. So I actually probably won't be back live regularly until mid-July. So those of you who are my faithful watchers, I'll try to put a note up in the group, but you can go ahead and mark your calendars that it's going to be, I think, 3 weeks off as we travel and do some family things this summer. So that's my schedule. My husband will be here part of the time, and you know, and we'll be doing other things, but it just kind of is the start of a different few weeks, kind of the true summer going on. So okay. So let's talk about leggings with a skirt attached. And I have sewn these for Rose before live. I've never actually made these for myself, but I'm gonna try. So the one thing I'm gonna do different from the girls version is that I'm only gonna make a half circle skirt instead of a full circle skirt, just because I like the look of it a little bit better. It's not quite so full. I don't really need a twirly skirt. It uses less fabric, so for those various reasons, we're going to create a half circle skirt today to go with the leggings. So let's talk about what you need and where you can get it, okay? So you need a leggings pattern. Doesn't have to be short leggings, it can be long leggings, you just shorten them. And I'm using my women's free legging pattern, and I have already pre-cut here 2 of the main leggings pieces. Looks like that's upside down. Okay, 2 of the main legging pieces they have the front and the back, and I have 2 of them out of this navy blue. As I've shown before, you want to lower the top of, if it's a fold over waistband, which my pattern is, I usually fold over the top of the pattern 1 inch and cut it shorter, and then cut a waistband. I'm gonna try a contour waistband just for something a little bit different. So for a contour waistband, I'll show you how to cut it. I haven't cut this, I just have fabric. And then I also like to have clear elastic to put in that waistband And I personally like this really thin clear elastic. There's thicker stuff, but I find that it is too sucky, too restricting, and it doesn't work good for clothing. I think it's more made for like bra straps and things like that, the thick stuff. So I have thin clear elastic. I have fabric that we will cut a contour waistband out of later. I have the front and the back, or the two sides of my leggings, and you can see that they're short, right? So you're gonna cut them out as shorts. And then we're gonna cut a half circle skirt, okay? So I have the fabric here, and I actually cut my daughter, you can see a skirt out of this part. So we're going to cut a skirt for myself out of the other part. So let's see if I can make room here on my cutting board to do that. Okay, so, and we're gonna be following my instructions for cutting a half circle skirt. I've linked the tutorial for both, I've linked both the free pattern for the leggings and the tutorial to cut a half circle skirt in any size, because you're just cutting it according to your measurements. Both of those are linked in the description of this video. So if you are interested in either one or both of those, you can hopefully find those details. All right, so I don't know if this is quite big enough, but let's see if we can maneuver it. Okay, so let's turn this so you guys can see what I'm cutting here. Okay. So for a half circle skirt, you only need a single fold in your fabric. So the fold of my fabric is here. Okay, and then you have to do a little bit of math. So this is the, more unfortunate part, is I don't go by my waist measurements. I go by the measurements on the top of the leggings. Okay, so the fabric, because this is all stretch fabric, so it's going to stretch. So looks like the top of the leggings, if I measure all the way around, is 28 inches. And my hips are much larger than 28 inches, but this is, going to stretch to fit, stretch to fit the hip. So we're going to cut the opening of the skirt the same, how come it got all weird and bright? There we go. Cut the opening of the skirt the same, so 28 inches. So here's your little bit of math, and I'm going to cheat, and I have my calculator open on my computer. But so you take your 28 inches. I don't add any seam allowance or anything like that, because this is very stretchy fabric. This is stretch jersey. No, actually this is double brushed poly, so it's going to be super stretchy. We don't have to worry about it. And so we don't have to add any allowance. So we take those 28 inches, so I'm going to plug in 28 inches, and for a half circle, you divide by 3.14. For a full circle skirt, you divide by 6.28. Okay, so you can see how one is doubled and one is not. So, so I'm going to take 28 inches, I'm going to divide by 3.14, and I get 8.9 inches. Okay, so we're going to round that off to 9 inches, and we're going to create first our waist opening. Okay, so let's draw that on, and then we'll do step number 2. Okay, so your only restrictions on sizing when you're making a circle skirt or half circle skirt is the width of your fabric. Okay, otherwise you can create the pattern in any size that you want, but you are restricted by how wide your fabric is. So I folded my fabric in half, right? So I have the fold here, and now I'm going to take and mark 9 inches all the way around, and I have the point of the end of my measuring in that corner with the fold if you're making a full circle skirt, you know that this is a double fold, but we don't have that today. And then we're going to cut the waist opening. Okay, and then from there, we can cut the length of the skirt. Okay, so this is my waist. Okay, we'll go around there. And so once you have that, and usually I figure out these two things before I start, so I know I have enough fabric. But I also just made something yesterday, which was a tip on how to add a ruffle on the bottom of a half circle skirt. So if your fabric's not long enough, you can add more length, and it turned out really cute. So I'll be showing that soon. But so usually I sort of measure from approximately high hip, where I know that the top of my leggings are going to come, and you know, how long do I want my skirt? Well, this is having shorts underneath, so if there's ever a time to wear a short skirt, it's now when you're not going to flash anyone. So, you know, do I want it to be maybe 13 inches? I'm going to go with, okay, 13 inches. So then I have to double check, do I have 13 inches here? And yes, I could go even longer than that. If you can see, I'll show you over here. You know, so you can go as long as you have the fabric to mark out that circle again. Okay, so that's what you're doing, is we marked one small circle here, and then you're gonna mark the large circle. So what did I say, 13 inches? Let's go 13 and a half for seam allowance. I'm not going to hem this because this fabric doesn't really need to be hemmed. So that makes it simple, except for that when I'm cutting it, I have to make sure I do a really smooth job cutting. So I'm just moving my measuring tape around the edge of the waist circle to try and create a nice level hem. Oh, maybe was I marking those at 13 or 13 and a half? I forgot I said I wanted to make 13 and a half. Give it that extra ½ inch. Okay, go back and fix that. Okay, 13 and a half, 13 and a half, move those scissors. One more mark of 13 and a half. Okay, so then we do the same thing again, where we cut the second circle, and you can make as many marks as you want around this if that makes it easier for you to cut. Okay, if you don't want to just have a few marks like I did, you can go crazy with your 13 and a half inch marking. Totally up to you. Okay, and you can see the edge of my skirt here is not quite even, so I'm just going to even that up slightly. I should just use this. Okay, so here is my skirt, and you can see, you know, stretch. It's going to be not too long. It's just going to be cute. So something fun to pull on or exercise in or go for a walk in or whatever. It's going to be awesome because it's going to have shorts underneath. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is cut the contoured waistband. So get rid of the extra fabric. And again, we know we have 28 inches. I guess I don't really need to remeasure that, do I? So to make a contour waistband, you're going to have two waistbands, an inner and an outer. And you can either cut it in a long strip, but I usually like to have a front and a back and a front and a back. So we're actually going to cut 4 different waistband pieces. And if you're unsure how to do this, you can search contour waistband on my site, and I have a full tutorial showing you how to make a contoured waistband. Okay, so you can check that out as well. So I have 14 inches approximately. That is the top of the pants, right? 14 in the front, 14 in the back on the shorts. So generally what I do for a contoured waistband is I will take off, which I don't need to take it off. This is all lined up. We're going to move that over to the 13-inch mark, okay, for the bottom side. And then I like to add an angle on the sides of the waistband to account for, as it comes up, your waist generally gets smaller. And I want it tighter, right? Because this is, I'm not putting elastic in this. This is actually what's going to hold up the shorts. So we want it to be fitted. So we're going to go from that mark. So I've moved it over. So we're starting with only 13 inches. And then we're going to go up and take off another inch. So we do an angle up, take off. So I just kind of angled up and took off just a hair over an inch. So then we're going to do the same thing on this side, where we actually only want it to be 12 total because we want an inch off on either side. So I'll move it over one more inch, and then we're going to take off and angle up an inch. Okay, so then it looks tiny, but really what this is going to do is get us where we're going to have a very fitted waistband. And with some fabrics that won't work, but with double brush poly, it works fabulous. So I have 2 fronts and I have 2 backs, and we'll put this together and it'll make a cute waistband on the top of our leggings. So we're kind of combining several things here. So let's take our shorts, our waistband pieces, and our skirt and head over and sew it all together. All right, so I have a different tripod here because my other one is already packed for summer and other things, so hopefully this will work. There's a little up higher, but that actually might be good for getting a better view. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to sew the skirt together. So because it's a half circle skirt, it does have a back seam. A full circle skirt doesn't have any seams. So I'm going to put that together, right sides, and sew down the back. You can put on the side too. I almost always put this seam down the back of my skirt, but I don't think there's any rule that says where it needs to go. I'm not really trimming off much fabric, just making a pretty small seam allowance and cleaning up that seam. Now, one thing to note, because I am not planning to hem this, we do need to finish the edge of that seam that I just sewed. Okay, so this is going to be on the bottom of the skirt, and this is going to be exposed, and not really exposed, but you know, you'll be able to see it. So I'm going to take my darning needle and just thread those threads back through so that on the bottom hem of the skirt, now we have a finished edge. Okay, so thank you. Thanks for sharing, Marcia. Appreciate it. And here is our cute little half circle skirt. Okay, ready to put the leggings underneath. Okay, so now let's assemble the leggings. And sewing adult leggings is the same as kid leggings, just bigger, right? We have bigger pattern pieces. So I'm going to move these so they're right sides together. Excuse me. Okay, and then I'm going to sew up the front and the back curved crotch seam to begin with. I have light color thread on my serger because I'm kind of in the middle of a few things and I didn't want to bother to change it out for dark fabric. The only thing that, you know, sometimes is a problem is if on leggings, because you're pulling those seams, see how you can a little bit see that white thread coming through? Because, you know, these will be pulled as they're put on. So ideally having dark thread in the needles at least is good. But I told myself this morning that I didn't have to change the thread because there's going to be a skirt over these leggings. So you won't see those seams if they pull a little bit. That's at least what I told myself. And I don't think it makes it any better, but I'm giving myself that excuse. Okay, so then I'm going to take this over to the cover stitch, and I am going to hem the 2 leg openings. So I like to hem those when they're still flat. Okay, so I'm going to take and fold over the bottom. Maybe about 3/4 of an inch. I did put dark thread on the cover stitch, so it is all ready to sew seams that you won't see. And I have 2 needles threaded. So it's a wide 2-stitch hem, and I'll show you up close in a minute how that looks, but I'm just going to hem the bottom of both. You could hem this after you sewed it. You know, it's definitely easier on an adult pair of leggings than kid leggings to hem it after, but I still like doing it open. It's just easiest. So folding that hem to the back side. And then sew down the hem. So again, I've linked my free leggings pattern, but you can do this with any leggings pattern you own, okay? It does not have to be my pattern. This is just combining any leggings pattern, the half circle skirt that you make yourself, and showing you how to put them together. It does not take any certain patterns. Definitely a hack that you can use with anything. So, Rhonda, I am making the entire skirt and shorts out of double brushed poly. So this fabric was made famous and very popular several years ago when LuLaRoe, became super popular. And this is the type of fabric they use in their leggings. Only fabric companies are now making it and making it better so that it doesn't get holes and some of those things that LuLaRoe was known for. So my daughter wears leggings exclusively made by me, and I would say 90% of them are made out of this type of fabric. And of course, you know, she's 6, so she plays hard, wears her clothes hard, and after a while, after several months, we'll get holes in the knees, but we've never had problems with seams breaking or holes in the butt or other places where you don't want holes in your leggings. So I feel very confident in this fabric. And both of these fabrics that I'm using today are from Raspberry Creek Fabric Shop online. They are still shipping and still doing great even during this time. So you should definitely check them out. They have gorgeous prints and so many fun fabrics, and the double brush poly selection is lovely. Okay, so here's the leggings. Okay, so we've got that started. So here's where we have to kind of put things together a little bit, okay? So we're going to start by sewing. I'm going to start by sewing the waistbands together, right sides together. If I can see here. Right sides together at the side seams. Okay, and these are going to be our side seams. So I'm going to sew one side seam. And when you have a contoured waistband, remember you do need an inside and an outside. because it doesn't fold over or anything like that. But this is if you don't have elastic or don't want to use elastic or just want to try an alternate waistband. This is kind of a fun one to play with. Okay, so there's number one. Sorry, for some reason I'm having trouble seeing. My eyes must be getting old. I can't see which is the right side and which is the wrong side. Okay, well, the solid colors are more difficult. Okay, so sewing up those angled side seams. If your body shape is more straight and you don't have an inward lean at your waist, you could make these straight. You don't have to add the extra angle. You could just make it tighter and smaller and straight rather than angled in. Okay, so now I have two of these, so an inside and an outside, or whatever you want to make it. So based on how fitted I already feel this is, I mean, the good thing about a contour waistband is often it acts as also a tummy sort of, you know, tuck as well. Because I already feel like this is going to be very tight and fitted, I actually made a in the moment decision, and I'm going to leave the elastic out. So I'm not going to put that clear elastic in the seam. I'm going to assume that this will be tight enough without, and I don't want to make it too tight where I'm like restricting myself from breathing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew the top, so that's the smaller of the two angles, right? So our angle goes down, so we're sewing this top line. That will be the very top of our pants or our shorts. And I'm going to sew this together around that top. Lois, I have not had problems with this fabric pilling at all. No, it stays smooth and soft over many, many, many washings. So I would highly recommend, and I would say in general, I haven't had trouble with double brushed poly pilling, so maybe just try looking for that type of fabric wherever you're shopping for your legging fabric. Fabric.com has double brushed poly. There's many places to buy it. But I do get most of mine from Raspberry Cream because it's always so beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to turn the waistband right side out. Okay, and so now you can kind of see we have what looks like a waistband, right? Where it goes out a little bit, comes in a little bit. This is, what did I make this? 1, 2, I think 3 inches. You can cut it as high or as short as you want, depending on how much, you know, sucking and how high you want your leggings to go. It can be very much up to you. Okay, so now we have waistband, we have leggings, right? And we have the skirt. So the last step, I mean, can you believe how easy this actually is? The last step is to put these 3 pieces together. And if you want to sew it in 2 steps, you certainly can. When I attach a normal waistband, which is usually a folded over casing for elastic, right? So it's doubled over, and then I leave a gap to thread the elastic through. I do it all in one because I'm not stretching anything. You guys still there? It's all the same circumference. Now this one, I'm going to see if I can stretch this and pin it and attach it and still have it be a good width. So we'll see if I'm able to still do it in one step. It will take lots of, I think with enough pins and clips, I should be able to do it. So you take your leggings right side out, you take your skirt also right side out, and we're going to take the back seam of the leggings, or the skirt, and put it on the back seam of the leggings. And then before I worry about the waistband, I am going to attach the skirt in a couple of other places just so I know that it's all in place. Again, we cut the top hole of our skirt to the measurements of the top of the leggings, so they should line up pretty well. Okay, it might not be exact, because different fabric stretches differently when it's cut. But these are both, like I said, double brushed poly, so both super stretchy, and we can easily account for any difference in, I guess I'll just use pins, any difference in the size, but it looks like we're pretty close. So then the next thing we're going to do is try to put the waistband into this same mix here. Okay, so I'm just getting these 2 layers. I do these 2 layers first, and then before I add the third. Okay, so now we have the leggings with the skirt, and you can see my leggings are just a tiny bit longer than the skirt. I guess I didn't really measure for that, but I'm okay with them showing a little bit. That doesn't bother me. I don't think I'd really want them sticking out a long way, but I can always go back and shorten the leggings if I don't like the look of them hanging out a little bit. Okay, so now with the waistband, we have side seams, not a front and a back seam, and the inside and the outside are exactly the same, so it doesn't really matter where we stick it. But I'm gonna find the back center and then line that up and match it to start with the back center that we already have. Okay, so now we have 4 layers of fabric. We have leggings, we have a skirt, and we have 2, Mary, that's very true. My thighs are bigger than what we have going here. And 2 layers of waistband, okay? So then from there, because I also had the front middle, we'll find that spot here on the waistband and pin, let's see, where's the front middle? This one. Okay, so pin the front middle. And this is just the fussy part, right? Because I'm going to have to stretch and pin or clip as I go along. So this is where I always wish I had more hands, right? Okay, so you can see that I have it stretched and open. This clip is going to line up with the side seam quite nicely. And then we can stretch smaller parts along the way. Now that we're down to the quarters. Clip there. So that's one side. We'll do the other side. You guys can just watch me rustle fabric here for a few minutes. Which is essentially what I feel like I'm doing. Right? Maybe new term we use, fabric rustler. This is why I like the clips. They're so much easier to take out and put back on than, say, these pins, but I'm not going to go dig those out. Okay, so if you don't have a serger, yes, you just want to stitch all these things with a zigzag. So the waistband, all the parts of the shorts, you just want to use a zigzag stitch so that it's still nice and stretchy, because this is very stretchy fabric and you want your seams to also be stretchy. There's nothing worse than pulling on a pair of leggings and hearing the seams pop, right? Pop, 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 and then you know, we're gonna have holes. So just use your zigzag stitch, maybe go over the seams 2 times with the zigzag stitch, and go over. So I never sew and then serge, but you totally could. I mean, the serger already has 2 needles, which means you're getting a double seam already. So for me, that's enough, but I know a lot of people do both. So totally up to you. It will work great either way. Okay, so like I said, you now have 4 layers of fabric that we kind of have to be aware of. And because the waistband is smaller, I am doing some stretching as I sew. If you're doing the elastic waistband, you shouldn't really have to stretch at all because all your layers of fabric should be about the same size. So that definitely makes it slightly easier, but I wanted to try this today. But if you've never done this, you could easily start with the elastic waistband. It is this step is easier. Okay, so I'm making sure that I can see all 4 layers of my fabric. As I'm sewing, I'm pulling the skirt and the shorts so that they are the same size as the waistband, which is a few inches smaller, right? So I'm lining those up as I go. And that's kind of why I have a little, you know, sort of start and stop going. But it helps me to make sure I'm catching all those layers. And if you are doing the elastic waistband, which the details of that are all up, if you search on my site, leggings with skirt, the kid version of this is all detailed for you in a tutorial. But you want to make sure you leave an opening. So if you're going to be threading elastic, you need to leave an opening at this point so you can thread your elastic through. So cute. Doesn't that look awesome? Do, 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 do. It looks so cute. Okay, so I'm so excited to try these on. I am going to try these on. And then, I know, yeah, I don't know how this, I mean, it's so cute on adult or on kids. I'm not sure how it would look, how it's going to look on an adult. But the thing is, even like I was just at Costco and they currently have sort of like, it looks like a tennis skirt, but it's not a tennis skirt. It doesn't have tennis pockets. It's just a knit skirt with shorts underneath. So I think even if you are larger, that it's gonna look cute. You just have to figure out like the style and how full the skirt is and those sorts of little things that maybe you wanna make more of an A-line skirt rather than the circle skirt if it's less full. So, or maybe more full. Maybe a full circle skirt would look cuter. So you just have to kind of figure that out. So I'm gonna step to the side, pull these on, hope they fit, and then come back and show you guys. It does not match at all my top, but who cares? Okay, be right back. We need to have like a second act, give a little show while I'm changing. Okay, here we go. So this would be good. This would be great with swim fabric. Absolutely great. Okay, so I'm not sure about the length of the leggings. I feel like I could pull them down, but I also can pull them up a little bit. So maybe I'll just try to pull them up. I don't mind it if you see it a tiny bit, but I really don't want it sticking out too far. I don't know if you can see it more in the back, or maybe just a little bit, but there's the back. Here's the front. here's the waistband. So you can see that the contour waistband fits great. It's plenty tight without any elastic in it. So I think this is a great way to do it even without the elastic. So again, I took 1 inch off each side on the bottom of the waistband, and then the equivalent of 2 inches off each side on the top for a nice angled shape. So easy, fits great on there, and you can adjust the height of the waistband by just how high you cut your leggings. So you can totally adjust that very easily. And if I was my daughter, I would, you know, give it a little twirl to see how it looks. But I can't really see here, so I don't actually know how it looks, but I'll go up in the mirror and see. But I think it's cute. I don't think I'd want it too much more full. But again, you could do the full circle option or the half circle option. And this sweater was a little different color. It might actually, the style might look actually cute with the leggings, but I'll have to work on that. So anyway, who is gonna make themselves a skirt? Woo! And now I don't have to worry about if it blows up, right? Maybe this, I mean, it's probably good for like biking and all kinds of things because it has the shirt on too. So I can't wait to go look in the mirror and see how it actually looks, not just looking at myself on the screen. So anyway, I'm so glad you guys were here today. I really appreciate your support always. Go check out the free leggings pattern, even if you just want to make leggings. Go check out the circle skirt tutorial. You don't have to add the leggings underneath. You can just make yourself a skirt. They're super comfortable and always make me happy for summer. So go ahead and check those out, and you can find all the details in those posts, and rewatch this video anytime you want if you're actually trying to put it together like I did. Again, just a reminder, I'm going to be off the next 3 weeks as I'm traveling and doing some family things, but I will be back in July, and we'll still have plenty of time to sew fun summer things and then look forward to fall sewing as well. So I appreciate you being here. You know, keep up following on social media. There'll be lots of things happening and new blog posts coming even though I'm on break. So lots of fun things to look forward to. So thanks for being here. I will see you guys in July, and I hope you are enjoying your summer. Bye.